Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to get into a concept that I should have got into. I don't know why I put it off for so long, especially since I'm literally always dealing with this concept. But we're going to get it together today. We are going to talk about the vibration pretty much that your home address can carry, because it really does speak a lot to the experience you will have while you live there or while you visit these places. So I'm going to start with telling y'all how to even calculate it. So let's say, take your address or the address that you're working with, and let's say that you live at, let me not give myself too complicated of a number to sit here and add. Let's say you live at 134 Easter Street. So what you would do is say 1 plus 3, 4 plus the 4, 8. So you live in an 8 residence. Now, let's say that you have a number in your address. So let's say, like, once before I lived in 1C. So you count how far down the alphabet that particular letter is. In this case, 6 is 3. So 3 plus 1, because I lived in 1C, will be 4. So at that time, I lived in a 4 residence. One more example I'll give is if you live in a 604, like say you live somewhere 604, 6 plus 0, clearly 6, plus 4, 10. 1 plus 0, 1. You just break it down until you get to it. So it's very simple to calculate the actual number. So once you get all that together and you're like, okay, this is the number that my home carries, you can go from there, just applying basic studies of numerology. Now, numerology is that girl. I always was interested in her since I was young. Since I was young, y'all, all these concepts, astro, tarot, numerology, they really found me. I couldn't tell you where the interest sparked from, anything like that. I mean, even as a kid, like when the first computers was out, I used to sit and scroll through pictures of like the planets. I used to just look up pictures of the planets and just study them. Totally unprovoked. Nobody ever brought it up to me. My parents were probably like, girl, what is going on? But literally would do that. And then I also would study like numbers. I was always very interested in the meaning of numbers. I don't know what sparked this interest, but that's kind of where I started to delve deep first before I even got into astro or tarot. And I would definitely study, 1 through 10. What do these numbers carry? I think it might have been, I know where it came from. Y'all just figured out where it came from. The numerology interest came from when I used to be on the computer and like the MySpace days, and there would be like an app, or not an app, but a promotion that would come up like numerology.com. Be real, it was numerology.com. Yeah, it was numerology.com, and it would be like, girl, get on here and calculate your life path number. So once I figured out my life path number, which it's 1, life path number, gang, 1, where y'all at? Please, I need to know y'all's experience. But besides that, I started to wonder, like, oh, if I'm a life path 1 and 1 means I'll have these experiences, what do these other numbers really symbolize? So that's kind of where it started for me. And this was way, way back. Y'all heard me say MySpace. So it had to have been like 2005, 2000. Child, we won't even get into it. But yeah, so that's where it started. And then I came across the concept of calculating the numbers to see what vibration, different things hold. So then I learned more about the address situation. And I'm not going to say I wouldn't have cared at all, but I probably wouldn't have been as interested as a kid to like see what the numbers of like the parents I lived with number was. So I probably was just like, girl, this ain't my crib for real. But when I started to get my own like apartments, then I was like, hold up, because I do want to know what the number was in my very first apartment, and I still can't remember to this day, y'all. But there was stuff that went on, and I so badly would love to get a hold of that, but that's another video, that's another day. So yeah, let's get into these vibrations of the home. So to give example, y'all, I'm about to work with some of my past homes. So let's start with the current. So where I live now is a 10 vibration. So I know I told y'all before with the 604 example, that broke down to 1, but my apartment here is literally 10. I'm not trying to push too much, but it's literally 10. So I'm like 10 vibration. So 10 carries this vibration of culmination and being content and feeling like, wow, everything came together, like a relief in things coming together and cycles wrapping up and being able to like finally breathe and feel contentment. Contentment is a big theme with 10. So I definitely felt that like since I moved here, like I was so grateful to come here. The culmination of events that led to like this gratuity and just feeling relieved by the time I got here was COVID. I went through so much during COVID, y'all. Like, oh my gosh, like had to move abruptly, had to live with my father, and then finally, after that culmination of events, could move here and be back on my own again. And I love my space. My space is just beautiful, and I just feel really good here. This is the most at home I've felt since like childhood. And I lived in this exact complex before, but I lived in a 3 apartment, and I'll get into that after this part. But yeah, I feel really content here. I go to sleep. Like there's some nights I just fall asleep and like rooted in gratitude. Like I just feel like, wow, like I feel really good here. Like, and even sometimes I'm like, you know, when it comes to moving, I know that I'll have to move soon, but I really be like, I feel so good here. Like I feel so at peace. Like I feel like everything is where I want it to be. Like just this feeling of having it all, like being content. Like why would I also often feel too like I don't be wanting to leave. Like I feel like I have everything here. I have all my art supplies. I have all my favorite shows. I have all my favorite stuff. I have my family memories. Like having it all. Like I be having food. I be eating down in here. Like I be not wanting to leave for real. And yeah, I really like it. It's aesthetically pleasing. I mean, hey, who wouldn't want to be here? Come on now. So the difference I would say in this one and the 3 apartment, because like I said, it's the exact same complex. It's just different apartment number. And that, you know, that number there rules creativity, it rules celebration, expansion, getting together. Like it's more of a fun energy. So I can honestly say while I was there, I definitely expanded upon my like artistic interest, I guess I would say. Like I was painting down. Like I used to paint before work, after work, sometimes during work. Like I was always painting. Like the creativity was just out of this world in there. At that time, I was working my first job out of college, so I was doing a lot of writing for the first publication I worked for, and I'm telling you, like, I just used to crank out ideas. Like, I was so inspired in this space. I also expanded my business greatly in that space, like, just constantly sitting down, brainstorming, and it's like, the things I was able to come up with in that time, like, have still, like, blessed me to this day. Like, they've made room for even more expansion to this day. So that was a nice space, and people used to come visit me a lot. It's a very social vibration. People used to always come over, and there was a lot of, like, people bring me food, like, just wanting to hang out. Like, it was just a fun space. Like, it was a really good vibe. But like I said, more fun. And then the 10 is more, it's like a more matured fun. It's like more like y'all probably like, girl, no, it's really like, when I say more mature, I mean like, I don't know, it's like more of a content fun. And then the 3 was kind of like more party fun. So there we go. So moving on, prior to that, I actually lived, well, after that, so there was a place I lived in between these two, and it was a 4 vibration. So the 4 energy was, you know, 4s rule like foundations, stability, you know, like building. And I constantly felt like your girl was building. Like, I don't even know what I built. By the end of the day, I was just always building, like trying to build financially, trying to build my business, trying, like, just always trying to solidify. Child, it was so stressful in that place. Like, I just felt like it was a really diligent energy. Like, I felt like I was constantly like working towards stability, like constantly trying to keep up financially so that I could have security. Like, it was just a very, very, and I went there to actually build my life in a different state, and that just did not go as planned. Now, I did share this space with another person, and she was always building too. Like, we were working on our businesses, like going really hard. I can honestly say, like, there was some payout along the way, of course, but I just felt like I was constantly feeling like I needed to strive while I was in that space. And it was good because there were certain things I was able to implement in that time. Like, on my website, there's certain articles that I wrote that, you know, can be referenced at any time. So it brought more viewers down the road. Example, I went and did a bunch of celebrity natal charts. So it's like the work I put in to like do that research and collect that information and then organize it has benefited me to this day, because that's usually the biggest draw for people to come on my website. So what more do I need to say? I really was just trying to like get things off the ground, trying to build a sturdy enough foundation to get things off the ground. So now that we kind of gone through my personal experience, we're going to go one by one, what energies, you know, each of these numbers carry. So one is the home of a lot of fresh starts. A lot of new identities might be found at that time. There could be some excitement. There's just like, you know, I would even associate like a one home with like a starter home. Like, a small family might start in a one home and, you know, they'll move out later, but it was where they got their start. So, and another example too with the new identity thing is like, my dad lives in a one home, and I'm telling you, this home has undergone so many like new identity changes, like at the flash, like really quick, because it's got that Aries energy behind it. Like, there was a time when his house was owned by a chef and it had a totally different layout, and they built onto it. Then it was a family home, and then it literally burned down to the ground, and there's a totally new structure there now to this day. So it's just like, this home has had to undergo a lot of ones, like new beginning, like first one. And even just like in terms of like who lived there, it's always like switching up constantly. Like, the house is taking on a new identity. Like, at one time we lived there as a family, like me, my dad, my sister, my mom. Then another time my dad just lived there, and then then my dad just lived there, and it was daddy's house. And then me and my dad lived there, so me and my dad lived there. And then it'd be my dad and my sister lived there. Then my dad just lived there by himself. Now my dad lives there with his girlfriend. So the home has just taken on, like, it's just always like taking on some new identity and starting fresh constantly. So let's get into two. So two is more of an energy of like a partnership. I could see like a married couple, a newly married couple or something moving into a two house. This could be a space where you have to make a lot of decisions. This can be a space where there's like really detailed work. Maybe you're working from home, and you might even, you know, have like a business in your home where you're physically doing something that's really detailed. Could be a home of a lot of reading going on. You might have a lot of bookshelves and feel the need to get more into literary work, and, you know, could even be doing a lot of writing in this space with this two energy. Two, you know, I just see, like I said, decisions, and even the decision to move out of or move into a two space might be really critical, or really key, I should say. So let's get into three. So three is, I told y'all, girl, it was a lot of fun. Three is like a fun social party, creative, just like really loving space when you get into a three space. There's usually some kind of expansion, and that could even be an expansion of family. Like, maybe you have more kids, or, you know, you just expand upon something in a really fun and exciting way that you feel good about, you look forward to. Like, it's just a really warm energy. Three can even be like I said, a social house. You might have a lot of parties or something in a three house, or you might enjoy having people over in a three house. Three, like, I just think party, fun, and opportunities to expand. Like, the experiences you have in that space might expand your outer world or your overall outlook, and what might make you want more for yourself. Because like I said, living in that three space, that's when I moved out of state after that. Like, my mind had expanded in that time. So, hey. So let's get into four. So four, girl, not my favorite. I'll try to tell y'all. Prior to this, it was a lot of building, working, trying to find stability in a 4 space. It definitely matured me, and I want to say that it overly matured me. I think I didn't have a lot of fun in that space. I was always constantly worried about building with my business. I was constantly worried about building within my career. Like, even in my downtime, I was doing stuff to, build upon these foundations, but I wasn't having fun doing it. And I just felt like more of a duty towards like chores and stuff. Like, I'm not going to say it was giving jail. But oh my gosh, girl, just know, if you got some work to do, or you got some goals you trying to like really work towards, because like I said, I didn't see a lot of achievement in that space. I saw a lot of progress, not so much achievement. Then girl, go ahead and get you a 4 space. So five guys, 5 can bring massive change, and there can also be a level of upheaval that is going on at that time. Like, you could find yourself really trying to battle through something in your life while you're living in this space. Or trying to power through something. Like, you might have some major obstacle in your life, or you could be trying to bring about some kind of change at this time. I see a lot of mental energy in a 5 space about how to power through, and what actions have you taken already, what do you still need to do, like just a very, again, like that's kind of like a house I foresee myself having to do a lot in, like the chore of having to power through something or get something off the ground, like with the 4, like just this burden, kind of feeling like a burden, or in that sense, I would say it would feel more like a crisis type energy to, I got to get out of this, or I got to make this happen, like that kind of energy in a 5 space. So 6 is a good one. She's a goodie. That's a number of harmony. So in that space, I just get like a vision of everybody around the Christmas tree, like having some hot chocolate and just feeling really warm. Like 6 is a warm number. 6 is of energy of good feelings and just harmony amongst people. Like, people are just more agreeable in a 6 space. I would have a 6 space to like I don't know, like to talk something over. Like, if you have an issue with someone, I just see it going down in a 6 space. Like, counseling, I feel like a really good one-on-one, heart-to-heart with somebody would be achieved in a 6 space, because you just feel more at ease. And I think 6, contentment again, but more in a relaxed way, not in a 10 way of, oh, I had to work so hard to get here, now I can relax, but more in a, this is just the tone. 6 is just really, really chill, easygoing energy. Okay, let's get into 7. So 7, girl, she is all about spiritual evolution and development. So you could find yourself studying a new religion, or your belief system changing, or maybe even religion or spirituality is a key theme. Maybe you take it a lot more seriously in that space. Maybe you are dedicated to your spiritual practice in this space, or have areas set up for your spiritual practice in this space. I just see a lot of spiritual growth, whether that be through positive or perceived negative experiences in life. This could be a time when you could really put things in perspective and have a lot of spiritual epiphanies in a 7 space. I could see even teaching about spiritual practice, or just spiritual practice being a main theme of what's being communicated or worked on in this space. People could even come to this space for, like after church Bible study. Like, I just think of it being a place of where people would come to kind of work out their spiritual urges, spiritual needs, and also find it to be a place of spiritual healing. You might meditate or do quite a bit of, any kind of spiritual practice in a 7 space. 8. So let's get into 8. So my sister lives in an 8 right now, and this number is connected with some of my favorite themes for real. Like, I've just been studying the number 8 in my own life in general, and 8 symbolizes wealth, prosperity, fortunate events, a series of fortunate events, I would say, that just lead to continued prosperity down the road. So I love an 8. An 8 home, I could see even, like I said, aligning with things that bring you abundance in the moment and down the road. Like you might meet someone in your neighborhood or something, or maybe your neighbor is a lucky person to you and helps you do something, or maybe you meet someone while you're living in this space that helps elevate you. Like I just see that as a home of, like the next steps to prosperity being clear as day. Like you just feel really connected to being able to not only enjoy your current blessings, but to manifest more to come. Just, I really love 8 energy. That I like that. That's probably like one of my favorite vibrations to be in. Yeah, so if you live in an 8, go ahead and get your money up. You take advantage. Just take in the feel good energy of knowing that you can prosper. There, it's definitely just I don't know, a sense of success like within and being on the horizon when you're in an 8 space. 9. So 9 speaks of endings. So if you live in a 9 space, there could be a lot of things that either recently ended or are in the process of ending or are going to end. I mean, it could be a home of, maybe you break up with someone while you live in this home, or, just maybe just some kind of other relationship is deteriorating, or, you end it at that time. It doesn't have to just be romantic. Maybe your job is ending. Maybe you're no longer going to school, or, there's just any kind of ending that you could associate. 9 also speaks of completion as well. So a lot of these endings are necessary or end up benefiting you down the road. 9 can also kind of bring that crisis feeling of, oh my gosh, this is coming to an end while you're in this space. There's also a lot of great knowledge and wisdom that can be developed while living in a 9 space. But I feel like this depends upon how receptive you are to endings and to change. The way you adapt to certain things ending, certain things changing, can bring about a lot of wisdom that you can later share with others. 10, I already done told y'all, I love my 10 space. So I ain't gonna chat about it too much longer, but I love my 10 space. I feel really complete here. I feel like I have everything I need. I feel so blessed. I'm so emotionally content. I'm feeling like I can do anything while rooted in this space, although I'm already happy in this space. And they say gratitude breeds even more to be grateful for. So I feel like I'm doing just that in this space. So if you live in a 10 space, enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So that is the conclusion of this video. I hope this gives y'all a better understanding of how to calculate it for yourself, and try it out with your friends and family. See how they feel about it. See if their spaces match their energy. So yes, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.